Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
We're going to talk about how broken the video game journalism industry is. We've been chronicling the demise of video games journalism, and we have another example in Starfield. Apparently, several media outlets were not given review copies of Starfield, which is one of the biggest releases of the year, and they're very, very salty about it.
Oh, well.
Pretty much. That's the end of the video, right? Just a well.
There you go.
So we're going to talk about the fallout from that. That they're out there complaining on Twitter/X that they're not getting codes. We saw this happen with Kotaku, with Nintendo not giving them codes for the latest Zelda game. We saw this with Hogwarts Legacy, and I want to talk about that because we actually had the lead from Hogwarts Legacy on our podcast on D-Res, Troy Levitt, and he said that Warner Brothers deliberately did an end run around games journalists, not because they were afraid of what they would say, but they said that they knew the reviews were going to be biased. They knew that, and that's the thing. You've got some games journos out there that are either against or for Bethesda, so they're probably thinking, these reviews are going to be biased, so why the hell are we going to give them a free copy?
If they even play it. Yeah,
right?
and then there's the whole issue, and you have somebody gets a free PS5 and then spends half the article talking about how they're guilty because they got a PS5 because in this economy, so you're there to sell PS5s and review it to try to help them sell machines and talking about how you're basically an entitled asshole if you have one.
Yeah.
That's not going to work to your benefit or your outlet's benefit.
No. So and that's the thing. I mean, we have covered this extensively. There are multiple videos out there talking about the decline of video game journalism. I just did one the other day.
I mean, it's okay if you don't like it and you say so and you're being honest because you played through it and you're being fair. But yeah, there's a lot of bias.
I would trust a game reviewer that actually paid for their own video games over someone who's given a review copy, because we know as people who have worked not in games journalism but in theme park journalism, when you're given free stuff,
there's an expectation.
There is an expectation that they are using you as a marketing tool, and the expectation is that you're going to say nice things
because you owe them.
Because you owe them. They got you this trip. They brought you down to Disney World. They wined you and dined you.
Cupcake.
They gave you a cupcake. They let you ride the roller coaster before anybody else. You're supposed to say nice things and only nice things. Doesn't matter if you got food poisoning.
We missed that memo.
Doesn't matter if you got food poisoning from the cupcake or you threw up on the roller coaster or the roller coaster.
If the park was too hot.
If the park was too hot, you're supposed to say only nice things. Only nice things. And I think Hogwarts Legacy was a big factor in this, for sure. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
I have to give a hat tip to Mike Phelan, who sent this over last night. He said that there's this huge controversy around Starfield. And what's interesting is they are saying that, hey, this could be another kill shot for the video game industry, that they're not getting review codes anymore. Because right now, a lot of game publishers realize you can just go out to gamers directly. You don't need the video game journalist. In fact, in a lot of cases, putting the video game journalist in between your studio and the customer tends to be a problem, because they interject their politics and their hot takes and all that stuff into it. What they're not mentioning in any of these articles, though, is Hogwarts Legacy. And that's the one I think that really kicked this off, because there were many outlets that said that they were going to refuse to cover Hogwarts. We had one of them cover it, but they gave it a 1 out of 10. Because it was, and which tanked their score on it. It was like Metacritic or something. And they did that because they wanted to tank the score and be like, well, this game's awful because J.K. Rowling's a bigot. So you weren't getting a fair.
Yeah, it's not about the game, and you're not judging the game. You're judging your personal bias.
So this is a very condensed version of it. This is coming from Op Today, right?
Okay.
Broken games journalism, the fallout surrounding Starfield's review codes. Bethesda launched Starfield this week. Gamers were eagerly delving into the sci-fi universe. I personally want to go back and play No Man's Sky again instead of this, but whatever.
Yeah, Squid King is so happy and annoyed that you want to play No Man's Sky, because the long story is Squid King has been after Neon for years to play No Man's Sky. Squid King was one of the ones that got it when it first came out and was disappointed when it turned out to be crap because it didn't deliver what it was supposed to deliver. They have since fixed it. And it's really, really awesome. And he has been telling his dad, for years to play the game. And finally, Neon has decided he will play it. So Squid King is very, very happy, yet very annoyed at the same time.
Yeah, but it's finding the time, because the problem with No Man's Sky is basically just wide open, infinite planets you can explore. And it's like one of those games you could just play forever and ever and ever. And I don't have time. I don't have time, but I need to play. I want to play it. I want to play it on the channel. We need to play it on the channel. Anyway, they're talking about the controversy surrounding the distribution of review codes for Starfield. Several UK-based outlets, including Eurogamer, The Guardian, The Edge, and Metro, publicly confirmed they did not receive review codes for the game. GameIndustry.biz did not receive a review code, and they're huge. Speculation arose as to why these sites were snubbed. Some suggest it was retaliation for negative reviews of Bethesda's previous title, Fallout 76.
Well, it could be. But it could also be they just didn't give it out to a lot of people.
Well, that's what they said. They said IGN and GameSpot both gave Fallout 76 low ratings, and they received review codes.
That is weird then. Why are they picking and choosing? Because they're bigger sites?
I think that's it.
They're better off to give review codes just out to YouTubers. They'd probably get more off of that than giving it to these websites anyway, just saying.
Well, here's what they're saying, and we'll go back to Hogwarts, because I think this is all about Hogwarts. Okay. They said, what was Bethesda's motive? No one seems to know. The lack of transparency has left journalists and readers puzzled. It's unclear why Bethesda specifically chose these outlets to exclude from receiving review codes, probably return on investment. GamesIndustry.biz is kind of baffling.
You know what it probably is? We're going to pull names out of a sock, and these people get review codes.
Because it doesn't cost you anything to give a review code, right?
They had been mad about something. It could even be the journalists in particular that had, they have a problem. And that journalist works on one of these sites now or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Be. The incident reflects a broader issue in games journalism. In a year that has already seen numerous layoffs and challenges in the industry, the denial of early codes further undermines the field.
Oh, I'd argue the field undermined itself a long time ago.
While reviews have traditionally been viewed as essential, the truth is that the most highly visited pages on games journalism sites are guides and supplemental coverage.
Said so many times.
What?
You have said that repeatedly.
I just said this the other day. I did a video the other day.
Saying it. Oh my God.
The traffic reviews generate pales in comparison to that of walkthroughs and strategy guides. Denying access to early codes not only hampers the ability to provide comprehensive coverage, but also limits the potential for increased traffic and ad impressions. As the gaming industry evolves, it's crucial game journals work together. No,
it's not.
No, I'm telling you what's going on.
We don't need game journals, and that's what the gaming companies are saying too.
That is exactly it. So not only do the websites not need game journals, because they have so much content that people are going to, they just want to know how to be the boss. They just want to know how to do.
Their argument is without the review copy, we can't generate those.
YouTubers can.
And it's like,
Twitch streamers can.
That's just it. Other people have it. Even their own game companies themselves, don't they sell guides usually?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're out there with their own guides. Why would they want you to be their competition?
Yeah. Here's a guy from Eurogamer. I'm sorry you won't be able to read a Starfield review this week. We're still waiting for a copy, unlike many sites. Just buy the game. I guess they're going to buy it. The review copies usually get them early, and then
that's just it. They want the early.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
By the time everybody has it, they're not going to get the hits on it.
Right. In the age of influencers, access-based games journalism is a dead end. Publishers will never want truly critical coverage, only glorified advertisements. Yes and no. I think it's they're seeing that there can be legitimate damage done by these malicious journalists. I mean, again, look at Hogwarts Legacy, because they did not like J.K. Rowling, who had literally no involvement in the game. Mm-hmm. But because the money goes to her, she gets a buck or two every time, or a pound or two every time they sell a copy of the game. Because of that, they decided they were going to actively tank this game. They were going to get people fired off of this game. They were going to constantly attack the game. Why the hell would you give them a free copy of it? You know?
Yeah, I know. It does. I mean, it is really weird though. Some people got it and other people didn't, but.
Oh, here. The Guardian is this is probably true. This is probably true. What you were saying about who's there. The Guardian has not received a code for Starfield. I have no idea why, but given I was an editor at Kotaku for years and Bethesda did not like us, I can make an educated guess. Mm-hmm.
I think part of it is the different outlets that didn't get one probably have somebody who has actively gone out of their way to be, anti, and they're like, nope.
Yep. So apparently Eurogamer got a copy, but I think they had a blacklist. They probably had a blacklist of people that were not going to get copies of this game because their journalists are assholes.
Or maybe there's something about the game they didn't want out early. I don't know.
I don't know. The game's going to sell gangbusters anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then what's going to happen is players are going to play it. And look, I don't even think early coverage necessarily makes or breaks a game anyway, because back in the day, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I read Electronic Gaming Monthly, and by the time you got the print magazine, the game was already out for a month or two by the time they gave a review of it.
Right.
Because it took so long to print
blog, so it's instant, but
just buy it. Some people pre-order games, but again, a lot of these, especially Bethesda titles, like they live for years. Like they sell games for years and years. They're still selling copies of Skyrim, and honestly, a lot of these games anymore, I don't buy them on release date if I'm going to buy them because I know they're going to patch it. No Man's Sky, perfect example.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was
bad.
10% of what was supposed to be. Cyberpunk 2077, another example.
I remember.
When they drop it, it's unfinished. I
think what happens is the companies and the gamers themselves are demanding the release, even if it's not ready. And then they get threatened, and then they release it, and everybody's mad because it wasn't ready, and they want their money back. And it's like, but if you just waited and let them finish it.
Well, the suits too, because they're like, we need to make.
That's what I'm saying. The companies themselves, like the investors and the people that hire, we need this done now. You need your people they have deals with. We're not going to carry your game because a lot of times they're independent companies that are releasing through PlayStation or whatever. Well, you better release it now, or we're going to be a real shame if we don't pick up any of your games again because everybody's coming after us wanting this released, and you promised you'd have it done by this time. And instead of being like, okay, we'll give you another year to finish it. They're like, no, you get it now, and then it's a big headache for everyone. Yeah,
they need revenue on the books this year. So sell an unfinished copy or sell an unfinished game, and then we'll just patch it later. We'll patch it later. And that's what they're doing, right? And it's like, just use Kickstarter at that point, because that's basically what this is. So there we go, guys. Gaming journos being marginalized even more than they already have been. Gamers gave up on gaming journos years ago, and if you're gonna do it, current year, you're gonna have to become an influencer. You're gonna have to have a voice that people want to listen to individually, working for these websites.
Be fair, not just be actively out there, trying to be, make it your personal podium about being mad about someone like J.K. Rowling and then not giving it a fair review. Because then they're going to look at that and be like, I'm not going to give you a copy because you're not going to review it fairly. You're just going to review it based on your biases.
Yep. So we're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.